Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the show. Yes, as we keep saying, we keep going around the world to find the most interesting, the most thought provoking, and today, probably one of the most beautiful guests we can find. This lady is an actress. She is a model from a very young age. She's a director. She's living in America. Gia Skova, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me in the show. I'm so glad to be here and share my story.
Awesome. So I was doing a little bit of reading on you and I'm going through the net to see who you are. And I found out that most of us start our careers when we finish school. But for some reason, you got into modeling very, very early. Was that something your family were happy with, or did it just happen and you loved doing it?
It just actually happened. I even didn't expect that in my life. I actually still do the sketches myself and for the films as well, as it's called, storyboard. But that age, when I was 10 years old, I didn't know that it's the sketches for the movie. I just did sketches. I liked the kind of stories and then put this message. And I saw in one magazine for kids that they're looking for artists. So I brought my sketches to the magazine and they said, okay, we cannot hire you. You're too small. You're too young. You don't have ID, nothing. And I was just showing my pictures, and my pictures was really better than in that magazine. And they said, okay, wait. And I was in this lobby, and that was a kind of a destiny. That guy was his crew team. He was looking for probably whatever they were looking for, a kid for the cover of the magazine. At that time, it was Kodak magazine. You remember the Kodak,
yes, yeah,
cameras, a kind of long time ago. And they were passing this lobby, and he said, here's the girl. And you're telling me you cannot find the girl with the cheekbone and whatever they were looking. And I was sitting there. So that was become my first cover for the magazine. And
wow.
I didn't choose modeling career. So after that, one thing, another thing, and I got my first contract in Italy. So the things brought me actually to the very professional modeling career, which I never choose myself. And I'm happy for that part and for experience. But I always, truly want to be in a film. I kind of didn't know what I really want on that time, probably because when I was 16 years old, first time I was in Europe. I booked commercial, so as a model. And I saw this little kind of a movie set, because usually commercial, it's a movie set, but
yeah,
little
it is,
one.
yeah.
And I saw a director and I saw his storyboards. And I said, oh, this is what I know how to do. This is I really like to do. And I kind of understand how it's the movie going, how it's a commercial going. And on that time, I kind of realized that what I really want to do. I kind of found the things that I want to do. And I was behind the scene more than in front of the camera. And I had Gia, back to back to your scene. And I was close to director and looking what they do with the camera, and I was so interested. So that's kind of my answer about the modeling career. So thanks for my modeling career. It's brought me to where I am now.
Did you have someone that looked after you and protected you when you were so young, starting in an industry that was known for churning and burning young ladies out?
So I always put this way. So I have a little bit sad story of my parents.
Yes.
Because when I was 4 years old, they passed away. And I grew up with my grandparents.
Yes.
And after that, when I was studying in a different town. And it's I was with the relatives all the time, but I was on my own, kind of responsible for myself. So that gives me a little bit a different, I was kind of from the beginning was adult, as I felt this way. And I always found good people. And
awesome.
Yeah, and they kind of became my friends. I had my She was the owner of the agency in Italy, and I was on that time very young, so I lived in her house because she was responsible for myself. We become very good friends, and that's how it's kind of like through the whole my journey. It's always like that. So when I came to United States with my agency, I got my basically manager. She still with me on the modeling side. And in New York, I had another management company, and this lady, she's always like become like my, I don't know, mother, or
yes.
I was living in her house, and it's kind of like very a different warm relationship, which gave me, because I always like that. So when I meet people, I don't have this barriers as a professional. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's bad, but this is how I'm made. And this is gave me kind of a family, which I didn't have probably in my childhood. And in this way, I found a lot of great people, and these people like become my part of my family. I would say like I have a big family. It's the whole world.
It's awesome to hear that the press love to concentrate on the negative side of modeling and acting and all that. And you're, I think, the third actress I've interviewed that has actually said the opposite, where they had people who protected them, especially when they were young, and people who took them into their family and looked after them. So it's great to hear that there is a really good side to modeling, and it's not all just the bad press. And as you said, if you think back at it now, do you think it was your attitude and how you treated people that allowed you to make these friendships, where you would have seen other models that thought that they were the best in the world and treated people accordingly, and they wouldn't have got the longevity and they wouldn't have built the friendships you had?
Exactly. Yeah, that's at the end of the day, when I go to sleep, I always try to kind of like putting my career not in the first place, but the relationship in between people. And that's is the most important. What it's about the whole world. It's about the communication in between people, right? This is what we enjoy more. And this is just can happen when you have the real conversation. And when you don't, this has never happened. You can be around 1,000 people, but you never got a real conversation. And for me, it's important to get really know the person, to get really speak through the open hearts and speak what I don't know, what I feel without any covering or hiding.
Do you think that, like, you were looking yourself, you like the storyboards and you moved into directing and acting later. Do you think it's hard for a young model to be taken seriously when they say, I want to be an actor, I want to be a director? And you could be the most talented person going around, but because you started out as a model, it was a little bit harder and it's a little bit tougher to make it, especially in Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood is a very special place.
It is, and there's special people.
Exactly. Yeah. But the thing is, I have my own production company, and I'm kind of on other side when I'm hiring people, when I build my team, when I build the crew for the projects. So what I can say, yes, it's important what it says in your resume. But the most important, that's the person in front of me, what he can do or what he cannot do, and how we can work together. So that's important to make something, to make the movie, to make the project. Because let's say, I think it's a soccer, right? Or any game. That's the best way to see what every person in the team, how they play, because right there in the field, they do or they not do. And that's how in any industry, in any profession, you can do or you cannot do. And that's the most important. And specifically in the movies, I mean, especially behind the camera, that's the skills, and the skills person have, like a camera man or the light person. So they really can make magic, because that's just they can or cannot do it, because there's a light. Okay, so with the light they play so magically, and the pictures get so amazingly rich if the person know how to like handle the light, right? So that's what's important, and that's like one side. And when people hiring me as an actress or as any specialist, so they probably, for them, is the most important, this part. Can I play or not this role? Or can I like make it happen? Like the people believe in this role when I play. That's the most important. And the thing is, when people saying that they cannot reach the goal, or it's hard. And I know it's hard, for sure. There is a barriers. If there is no barriers, it will be so simple, like everybody can do anything. But a big secret of this world, you actually can do anything in the world if you want, for real.
What was more nervous, your first paid catwalk as a model or your first paid gig as a actor?
My first paid, so the walking, like the catwalking, it was in Italy. It was the L'Alta Moda. It's like a fashion week, but in Rome. It's L'Alta Moda. It's a very big, actually bigger than in whole Italy, because it's everybody attend that. So I got the first catwalk, and I was the most small girl, because I'm not so high, and I was super small. And also I didn't get that year was like a medical instructions get, because the girl died. Like it was like a big story that the girl died because she didn't eat or something. So it was like really bad. So we had a nurse or doctor on every like place where we've been, and they measure you and how you weigh. And my weight was like a little bit, so my agent just said like, okay, she can go. So basically it was so stressful day, and after all the whole things, you actually like walking, and it's just a 15 minutes, the show, it's just the 15 minutes. It's never bigger. The 15 minutes you like do the practicing, and it's like you wearing the clothes, you like different things. It's like usually like 3 to 7 days to prepare the show, and after just a 15 minutes walk, that's it. And you have to be good, because it's a lot of people, and on the first row is usually press and the biggest magazines, like everyone. You just see this like faces, which is like, the faces because it's a famous faces, and you have to walk in a high heel and do the best you walk. So I was really, really nervous. And I said to myself, okay, I have this amazing outfit. And this amazing outfit, people want to see it, because a designer who did this dress, she probably put so much effort to make it happen, to make actually this outfit bring to the world, that the world will see. So I kind of had this idea, and after that I walked. And the funny things that since that moment from my show, every time when I was wearing something, it's been sold from the day of the show.
Have you ever, you see some of the stuff on television and you just shake your head going, what are they thinking? The most, I don't know, strange looking outfits. Have you ever had to put something on and gone, this is awful, but I'm going to pretend it's really nice?
Usually.
You don't have to mention the designer, so.
Right. Yeah. I have I have basically one dress, which was super heavy. Absolutely. Like it was unbelievable heavy. It's been sewing from the side, because you cannot wear actually yourself, because it's like sewing on yourself, on the designer kind of make on you, tied it up and everything. So you understand that nobody will wear this dress, because this is not for the sale. It's just for the show. It's when it goes to the high fashion of what it's called. So basically, it's like that some of the dresses go to the museums or that like the awards, etc. So it's like not really like wearing the normal people or even for the events. So I was in this dress and it was super, super heavy. It's like just super heavy. And I said, okay, so I need just to show, because nobody will wear that dress. Never. It just like to show whatever it was, the creation of the designers in the designer's head. So I respect every outfit in my life which I present, because it's just part of the art, and it's when we look right now how it comes like each designer is related to each other, because big designers are inspired by the small designers, and after that it goes to the stores around the world, and after that we see this in the street, and we see these beautiful ladies in the whole with clothes and the colors and like a very fluffy or dresses or anything. It's so beautiful. It's just part of the whole this creation, and I like that. I like beautiful clothes.
So you've obviously taken that into your directing and your acting. When you started doing acting, what was the most important thing you took from modeling to use to be a good actress?
Probably from modeling, it was kind of opposite, because I didn't act on that time, but for modeling, for the print, you have to have this showing the emotions, right, with the picture, whatever emotion they want. And I understand with the emotion, I can bring so many to the picture. The picture gets like on this like one picture, I'm super young, like I don't know, that's as my age, 16 years old, and I look as a 16 years old. And the next day, a picture, and I'm there like 35 years old, because it's just the emotion and the like kind of mood. And two pictures, like one day, yesterday, and today, and they are so different. I was like impressed when I start noticing that. And I said, okay, I just can do with my emotions. I can bring this emotion and show some like mood, and it brings to the picture.
That's awesome.
So that is very good to use in that.
And now I hear a little birdie told me that your fiance is completely scared of you because you learnt to do your own stunts, and you're the one that defends them if you go out. Where did you decide? I mean, you're a beautiful lady, and it could all go wrong so easily. How did you learn to do most of your own stunts and fight scenes? And do you think that gives you a bit of an advantage over some of the other actresses that don't want to break a nail?
So I like sport, and I like ice skating, skiing, different things. I did the ballet when I was a kid. So it's like a different, very, very different. And when I do sport, it's you like, you kind of like your body in good shape, you like feeling good, you have a very good mood. So it's like a lot of classes. So I found that, okay, I want to try this and that, and the different things that has brought me to the boxing. And I tried boxing, and it actually was for the modeling, because I did a cover in the United States. It's a Spirit and Flesh. I was in the first edition of this magazine, and it was about 7 signs. And my sign was anger, like we did in the Mike Tyson's boxing place in Brooklyn with his coach.
Yep.
And it was so amazing because everything was real. And all the my basically all clothes was the real. And the guy who was my he plays a model, but he was a real champion that year, Mexican guy. And that cover, and they said, okay, Gia, you have to train because that's kind of like should come from you. The picture is still, but it really should come from you. There's all like a kind of anger and box, and you actually the story. We were in the we fought with this guy who championed, and after that I won. So he told me like nobody won me, especially girl, but I allowed you to do the photo shoot. It was so funny. So, and when I did, especially with that coach, which is like very kind of a big guy, I kind of found that it's so cool to have this like technique. You have like a little technique, and after you train one thing, you train, and you become really good. You kind of feel certainty. So what I found out after that when I did boxing, my like presence are get where I am, and I can say my thoughts like kind of like more certain. So I did more. After that, like in Los Angeles, I already did boxing and the Taibo and the different kind of things on that field. And that gave me a really good, like gets body in shape when you're doing the boxing. Because when you do the boxing or any fighting stuff, you're not afraid to be punched. So, and in the movie, you never get punched. It's always kind of like going, it's the angle of the camera, and the punch is going like kind of.
Well, you're not supposed to get punched. Let's just say that.
Exactly. Yeah, and from the different angle of the cameras, look like that's you got punched. So, and if you really very certain about who is in front of you, like your twin, you really it looks very good. And we tried, and it was super good. With I did the short movie. It was like a fighting stuff with the stunt coordinator, and it looked like we fought. We fought like it was real fight, but it was not real fight.
Yeah.
It was just like a movie stuff. And after that, that's why I said like, okay, so that's probably I can do. I can do my stunt myself because this is how it is.
Wow, it's you're like a triple threat as an actor, aren't you? Because you can model, you can do your own stunts, you can act.
Thank you.
So it sounds absolutely awesome. Do you think now, looking back, you're a model, you're an actress, and you do a bit of directing yourself with your own production company, which we'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it harder, and I'm not saying this from a sexist or anything type of thing, is it harder in the industry for a lady to make it on all three levels than it is for a male? Or is it easier where you can use your looks, where most men have to use their acting ability first before their looks, unless they're born into a royal acting family? I'm talking about it from someone, if they're looking at you now and you've come from a tough upbringing, but you're making it through hard work.
Right. I would say this. So this comes from like the person, right?
Yeah.
And the person, if you believe in yourself and you really want to challenge yourself with the things in life, you try and you do it. And this is not the competition over someone here. I like kind of there out, right? It's the competition with yourself. And that's what is like people before, right? When it was the brave, or like all these things come kind of. We had the things that we have to. We really have to like train ourselves, and that's my grandfather taught me to do. So it doesn't matter how much money do you have. It doesn't matter how wealthy you are. It doesn't matter who you know, but it's a matter what kind of person and what size of your heart, and do you believe in yourself? And if you believe in yourself, you can make it.
And I've heard actors and actresses talk about, especially actors and some who are models, about having the courage to say no. I don't want to do that scene. I don't want to do the shoot that way because I'm uncomfortable, because it goes against my own beliefs.
Right.
Whatever, everyone has things they're comfortable doing, some, are things that they're not comfortable doing. If you look back at your journey now, how important is it for you to, as a actress or an actor, I call them, everyone's an actor, to say no if you're not comfortable on what they're asking you to do, be it a model or an actor?
Yeah, you mean not comfortable to do on set?
Yes, on set. Yeah.
On set specific, like
in a professional thing.
In a professional, you mean, for example, let's say like jump out of the cliff without the secure thing, right? For example, right?
Yeah, things like that. It can be a scene that your character, it makes you feel uncomfortable because it goes against everything you personally believe. And I don't mean the weaky stuff. I mean something that, is really strong to your heart. It could be a sex scene. It could be something. A lot of actors say when you start to say no is actually when you get strength and when you get control. If you always say yes, directors will always push you too far.
Right. So it depends. It depends for sure. So the thing is, for example, like when you, let's say this character, if I'm playing, it's a bad character, right? It's an evil. So it definitely, to show the story, how evil is that character.
It's different, yeah.
It's different, right? But if it's something that I always like, okay, let's just a little bit back. So when I say yes, on the script, it's we have that even sign an agreement that it cannot show like change or do some like big changes or add something. So I will never stand and promote in a movie some certain stuff, which I like. This is, we discussed before we signed the agreement and reading the script, and some stuff, it's been just like saying that should be changed before we start.
Yeah.
So this is for sure, because the actor and the whole crew and the movie and the director, that's the voice, like the voice for the people, right? The audience. And the audience can be any audience. It can be kids, right? It can be any people. And that the movie can be a direction or the answer for something for them at that moment. So this is a responsibility of the voice which you're putting out there.
Yeah.
Your voice, your message. So I kind of like ahead of time thinking about that, not on set, because on set it's the worst thing to do. I had like opposite situation when I was a director, and my one actor, we shot the whole film, the half of the film, and on the other half, he said, I'm not doing this part. I'm not doing, because we're supposed to jump from the helicopter to the boat, and it was the storm and it was not safe, etc. But it's been written on the script, but on set it was very safe. Of course it was safe, but he basically he said no, and we reshot the whole scenes because he said no.
Yeah. Where did you?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Where did you get the idea to start your own production company, and how hard was it?
So that it came to me when I came to Los Angeles, and so because I have like a lot of background as a model and the different commercials, which is also good, but it's not was enough for the films and the TV shows. You have to have demo reel.
Yep.
So I decided to like make a demo reel to get like more movies and TV shows roles. So when I kind of like tried some companies, I didn't like what they did. I mean, it was good enough, but not really. And I said, okay, I can do myself. So I start this with this like a little things that I did, and it was so perfect. I said, oh my God, this is so fun to do. Let's do the short movie and another short movie. And it gets so kind of easy. It's just on my experience. I don't know, just naturally. It just gets a good thing on the end. And people was more keep asking like, oh, what's the movie? It's like, what kind of movie is that? When they saw this like a little kind of things that I did. Oh, I want to see the whole movie. But there is no whole movie. This is another movie. I said like, really? But that's very professional. And who shot that or who directed? And I said, nobody directed, I directed. So that's how it basically started. And after that, after that, I get like more professional. Like I opened a company and start collecting diamonds, because sometimes you can really see unbelievable people who knows how to do something, like the cameraman or the light person, or some people are just so amazing, and you just put things together and here you go, you have a movie.
Yeah. Two quick questions before we start to wrap up. If someone turned around and said, I'm going to give you $1 million, you can be an actor, mm-hmm. or your next job can be as a director, or the next job can be as a model. Mm-hmm. Which is going to be your pick?
Director. Because I have a lot of ideas now, actually. Anyway, I have 3 projects on my table, which I'm working on, and that is, by the way, I not just directed. The last movie I wrote and direct. So I'm writing all 3 projects, and I will be directing as well. So that's something that I like to do. And when you direct, you always act as well.
Yeah.
So, actually, like we always we were looking for good actors. Actually, we're looking for the good actor. Where is the good actor? So,
oh dear. I think you'd be a hoot on set. It certainly sounds like you'd have a lot of fun. What would you say to someone who just wants to start out in the industry? A young girl walks up to you, 16, on the street of LA or Tampa, and says, Gia, I want to get into acting and I want to get into modeling. What's the best piece of advice that you were never given that you give that person?
I would say, believe in yourself. Never lose this dream which you have right now, pure, and it just like I will rocket on the sky, because this is what you need. Believe in yourself. You have your dream pure, that nobody put it any invalidation, evaluation, why it cannot be happen. And never lose your childhood, because that's I think, in my opinion, all artist world, that's they are big children who can believe, dream, and show this to the world.
Awesome. So what's next for Gia? Where can people get in touch with you or look up what you're doing so they can follow your burgeoning career? So when you're playing Catwoman on the next Batman, or you're in Mission Impossible, we can say, oh, hey, I saw her.
I would love to be in Mission Impossible. I think it's the amazing, like a kind of a chain story, which is, you just enjoy when you're looking that movie.
Yeah. They say Tom Cruise is amazing, as he's amazing to work with, and he works very well with everybody. He's not one of these actors that walks out of his trailer and onto set and then walks away. They say he's quite the opposite.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. I think, exactly. Everything what I've heard about Tom, it was really a really nice thought. Definitely, I would love to work with him. So, but my next movie will be a comedy show, which I booked not long time ago, and it will be filming in Texas. It's a story about a barbecue guy who created this barbecue sauce, and I'll be playing his wife. And it's a story about his family and how they basically all kind of adventure. It's a comedy. So I didn't do a lot of comedies in my past. So this is will be for me a very interesting new experience. That's what I'm doing next. So besides that, my projects, it's about Supergirl, which I will be playing Supergirl. I think that will be fun. It's like kind of a story for kids. It's like about the superhero.
Yeah.
And I have an amazing story, Cinderella, which is I'm working on. It's a very modern story about, it's my version of the Cinderella, basically. So, and also I have another spy story, which I'm working as well. So that's for kind of like upcoming future. This is my projects. And you can follow me on Instagram, Gia Skova Real. I always put some news and everything that's happening with me.
That's awesome. I'll put all the links up on the show notes so if people want to catch up or reach out to you. They know where to find you. So it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you. It's great to see someone with such passion for what they do.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. And we say at the end of every show, have a groovy day.